Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today in the series of tips and tricks for Windows operating system as well as PowerShell, as well as Linux operating system and Python, C++. There's a lot of courses that I'm offering you here at MyWebUniversity, college level courses. You can see that there's a lot of courses with operating system, databases, programming languages, such as Python, JavaScript, React, and C++, Node.js, a lot of stuff. And then at the same time, courses on operating system, such as Linux Rocky or Linux Red Hat or Linux Ubuntu, Linux Mint, and then Windows system Linux. There's a lot of them, R programming languages and data frames and data structures in Python. So you can see there's a lot of variety of courses that I have. And last 4 videos that I have posted here were about Windows and Linux tips and tricks. These 4 videos that you can see here, I have already posted, and I'm going to be showing you video number 5 today, which is this PowerPoint presentation that I'm going to start here. So let's get started with this video number 5, which is Windows and Linux tips and tricks. I'm going to go through a slideshow here, and then you can see here, and this is video number 5 in the series of video number 1 through 4 that was already posted. I just showed you. And video number 5 is about Windows and Linux tips and tricks. When I talk about Windows, I'm mainly discussing PowerShell command lines and PowerShell examples, as well as DOS, disk operating system command sometimes, but mostly PowerShell. And when I'm talking about Linux, in this example, I'm discussing about a Rocky Red Hat. So you can see Rocky Linux virtual machine on the Linux side. But the commands that I'm going to be discussing here today is looping, how you do for each loop in PowerShell. The ForEach-Object is a commandlet on PowerShell that the shortcut or the alias for it is for each, and then there's also percentage that is also an alias to the for each object or for each commandlet. So the for loop is also another way you can do for a statement, which is similar to C, C++, Python, and other languages, even JavaScript and Java. We use a for statement to do this thing. So well, I'm going to be showing you a different example of for each with PowerShell, as well as for looping and about for in PowerShell, and then also a while statement, while loop, how you do it in PowerShell, about while, and then we use the write post, which is similar to like echo to the Linux environment, or echo and DOS command prompt there. There's a lot of other statements, like in Python, you could use print statement to do that one. I'll show you all of those examples with this one, how to write colorful text on the operating system and how to manipulate those ones. But at the same time, I'm going to be discussing about the looping in Linux, which is a for statement, a while statement, or any other programming languages such as Python, C, C++, Node.js, and JavaScript, and other ones. I'll be showing you all of that one with more examples. So let's get started with PowerShell first for each. In order to do that one, as you can see on the previous video, I have covered already video number 4, and these are the topics that we discussed. Measure-object, measure-command, times, timex, start process, stop process, kill, pkill on Linux, and kill command on Linux, get process, ps command on PowerShell, which is an alias to get dash process, and PS command, which is actually command and Linux, top and htop, which are also command and Linux. I discussed those ones last time, and also I covered video number 3. I'm just going to show a glance of it, what we have covered. I'm not going to talk about each one of them because those are separate videos. Please watch those ones and learn from them. It's going to help you a lot. In video number 2, we covered the following commands. In video number 1, we covered the following commands. So you just saw all the list of commands that we covered. And then obviously I have this one, these videos for video number 1 through 4. And for C language, for those of you that speak for C, I covered those ones. I'm going to skip this one because you are welcome to watch my for C version for those ones. So today I'm going to be discussing about these commands under the video number 5 for each loop. Let's get started with a Windows command prompt. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel, I encourage you to subscribe. It's a really good channel for the students, for developers. You're learning operating system, programming languages, as well as IT, information technology, everything that is up to date. I provide you the details on it. And there's a lot of videos and a lot of documentation. Technical documentation, I have it on my website, MyWebUniversity.com. So if you click on the direct path to Linux Ubuntu, for example, I have more than hundreds of thousands of technical documentation just on these 15 chapters of my book. So like if you look at the dynamic generation of Linux Ubuntu documentation, this is basically give you more than 100,000 of technical documentation plus the entire internet. So if you search for Python, for example, I showed you on previous videos, you could just go here, search for Python or Node.js or whatever you search for, you type in here, and then you get the documentation. So for example, here Python, and then here you have the documentation in PDF. You do Control F and type in HTTPS. Then I take you to docs.python.org or python.org, whatever one that you want to do. Let me just go slowly, like python.org, and then you can just see here the entire documentation is available for you by just clicking on documentation. Similarly, for example, if you're searching for Java and you say, how do I do Java programming? You just come in here, type in Java, and then I give you the Java.pdf. But notice this is only 53 pages. So if you're learning like in details, you could just search for Control F again, HTTPS, and then I take you to docs.oracle.com/Java and those pages. Some of those pages, if it is not up to date, because under the Oracle, some pages might have been already updated, and if it is not available, just go to the site that it is having this documentation, like opengdk.org. You can see that it is everything, all the documentation there. Similarly, for the one like, for example, here, if you just see any of these documentation, you can look at it, and then installation, and then you can just go through JDK 8 or whatever you have there. And then the previous documentation that I pointed out here for the GDK, you can say HTTPS and then say, okay, let's go to the first one, opengdk.org, or maybe go to the next one, docs.oracle.com. And then this one is going to take you to a page not found because this page needs to be updated. So if you go to the main page on the index.html page, that page is moved. Somehow Oracle is not up to date with those ones. You could just still go to these other documentation, JDK 12 documentation, and this is a main page that you can see here. And then from there, you could just get all the notes there. Download the JDK or whatever you need to do. So This is really useful documentation for you. At the same time, like I'm showing you MyWebUniversity here, you could come in here, say, okay, Wahid, can I get the PowerShell examples? Yes. Click on the chapter 4, for example, and then come in here at the bottom, says Linux and Windows technical documentation. There are about 66,000 technical documentation just for Red Hat, for Rocky, for Linux Ubuntu. And if you're interested in PowerShell, just click here. There's 57,500 of them. And let's say you're looking for each statement, do a Control F and type in for each. And then the for each object comes in here and start reading it. And then this is the PDF version, not text version. So I wrote Python program to just translate those text to HTML, and it is a click of a button on your browser. You could just get them all in there. Okay, and then let me just go back to command prompt. Here I'm going to open a PowerShell terminal. So you can see here I have a PowerShell icon here that I could click on, and by default it drops me to PowerShell 7.5.4. If I type in git-host, it is telling me that I'm on 7.5.4. And if I say $PS home, just show me the variable PS home, it tells me that it is there. That's why this one, by default, when it opens, it shows you the version as well as that. So if I just say cd to root directory and then do a pwd here, the $PS home is still pointing to that version because that is PowerShell home. But pwd print working directory of executable is currently showing that I'm on the C prompt here. So I'm going to be using this terminal just to show you some of the examples. And then I could also use Visual Studio Code to make it a little bit look nicer. So if I want to do that one, let me just type in code. And I could just go to a PowerShell directory, or I could just do it from here. Say code, and then if I just don't want any programming language or any file to be open, I just say code, and that will just open Visual Studio Code. At this time, it just says, oh, I have this PowerShell already here, and there's this root host, read host, please enter your full name. It asks you, like you can see here, this statement basically it writes a message, happy birthday to the person that is doing it. And this is one example. So if you want to run this one, it uses a for each statement. I just run here this, and then it is going to say, please enter your name. And I say Wahid, and then it says in colors and those lines, right? Happy birthday, Wahid, happy birthday, whatever. And then if you just want to change that message to say, for example, instead of hello, hey, greeting, I'm going to comment this line out. And then this one, I'm going to change the message to welcome to my YouTube channel. And then instead of the message, happy birthday, I write that message. Now I just modified it, and I'm going to do save with escape W, and that will be escape shift and then colon W, because I'm inside VI here. And I could move this one here on this side so you can see there. The first statement that is Wahid, I commented, now I should get a different run output. When I run it, I just get a different output. So if I say Wahid, and I say, hello Wahid, welcome to my YouTube channel. And notice that the coloring is there is because of this 1 to 15. There are 15 different colors with right host. And this dash foreground color, I'm writing the background is in black and then foreground is white. And notice that here, if statement that is checking. If the first one, the color is equal 1, then I want to just write a background of black. because I don't want to write the same color with the text that are really dark. So I want to change it to like a white background so I could see it there. You could also change this range to say, and instead of doing all 15 of them, you could do like 10 of them. So if I just do that one and then do escape shift WQ, which is write it and then run it now, it asks me, say, my name is, let's say, David. Then you can see that now I changed the color for the first one to say this one, write it there because of the option that we have. With the other one, it was going fast on it, so we didn't see it. If I change this one to back to 15, and then run it, let's say, John, and you can see here the top of the line is, hello, my name is John. And then, hello, John, welcome to YouTube and this. So you can always write someone's name and then run it and get the output and everything. So if I run the same program with less parameters, start maybe with 1 colon and then maybe to 5 of them. So you can see the line here better, and right there is the equivalent of that. And I'm going to say save it and then run it. And you can see here, if I say Ali, and then you can see that say hello, Ali, welcome to my YouTube channel at MyWebUniversity, 5 times the same person with different colors. So what am I showing you here? I'm showing you that if I just reduce these greetings, say the ones that I'm commenting out, I don't need them. Now the program is only 13 lines, right? So I could just move this one here and say, let's test this equivalent of this one and then run it. And then the name could be, let's say, someone that is really good person. I'm gonna say Muhammad Ali, the boxer, right? So God bless him. And then you can see here, hello, Muhammad Ali, welcome to my YouTube channel at mywebuniversity.com. Everybody is a good person. I'm just saying that like sometimes you have role model in life, and he was one of the biggest leader that you can think of, a real leader. God bless him. Some people, they claim they're a leader, but he was a real leader. He was standing up for humanity. That's why he impressed me. Another one is Dr. Martin Luther King, and that we could run this one also, welcome him. So if I just say Dr. King, God bless him. And you can see it just dynamically give you the output. So what is the good about for each statement? For each is that it's going to get whatever color in this range, I want to just change the color. The greeting in the message or just a string of characters that I'm going to pass on. But in this case, the range of colors, I'm going to do it with the right host. So the for each loop is just showing you looping, how you could do looping here. And then, and the nice thing about this terminal, you could also run for each statement on the terminal here. So if I just cd to the current directory to make the prompt smaller, I could just say, for example, for each, and then I'm going to just say percentage I is not defined here. So that you have to have percentage I defined and percentage A is defined. But before you do a for each, I could just say for each, and then here say $I, and here I could run the get child item, which is a directory command, right? So you could do this and say percentage, and then $I, $sign dot name. So let's say if we could print out the name of the product directory in this one. And then it did not print it, but let me see why. So if I just do get child item, it gave me all the child item, right? And then here I say dot just print this one, and it doesn't print it because I'm not giving any instruction of printing it. So let's say write host, and then I'm gonna say write this one. But again, that is not in my argument. So I use the $I. I could have just say $I here, and that's how the output is gonna show. So when you do here, $I is going to just use that argument from the get child item. You don't need the right host here because that is automatically a string that you could do it. For short, you could do this. And then if you just say $I dot $I dot name, this one is going to do the same thing. So the name is there. And then if you just say let's write this one in a write dash host, and then you say dash foreground green, and then say $I. I'm going to make it short so I don't have to write it too much, and then you can see that we just change the color to that. And if you just instead of green say write it in yellow, it will write the other one in yellow. But notice that when I wrote in yellow, I did not put a space in between them, and so it did get distorted with wrong information. I would recommend you to type this within its own quotation, so it doesn't mess up anything here. And then these colors, you can change it to any color you want. So like if you want it in red, you could just do it in red. Notice that I did not close that one. So, and when you do that one, you have to close it within double quote. So when I started the red, I did not close it. That's why I did not do it. So it is doing a little bit red, orange. So let me see why. Yeah, foreground is red. Let's say white. White should change it to white color, and that's. And then red is a little bit kind of like different color. And then red. Yeah, that's not red. Okay, doesn't matter. So that's just a color. We could do whatever we want to do it. Here, there's also option of for statement. Okay, so I'm showing you on this one, but you could do the same thing in PowerShell here. So with PowerShell here, if you just don't use Visual Studio Code, you just open a terminal, you just come in and close this one, you click here, you get a terminal, and then within this terminal, you could run it, or you could say, let me just cd to the current directory here, and then do pwd, I'm on there, and then I say dir, and then say for each $_ and this is also going to give you that same output of each line. But notice that when you do dir or get child item or ls, if I just change that one, alias ls is pointing to get child item, alias dir is pointing to the get child item, and alias get child item is alias. Those are shortcuts to get child item commanded. And in case if you do the same command that I did here, and you just did like to use a less command because you're a Linux person or Unix person, and you say, oh, I like to just get a list of them. Notice that all of those ones, they have same parameters with them there. So if you just say, well, let me just do this one ls, but I'm going to do it dash recurse, because recursively everything is there, and just give me a list of them. This is gonna give you a lot of them, but notice that the recurse is not an option, so it might be recursive. So you say -d and then tab it, and that's what the recurse. Oh, I missed the R. That's why. If I had done it with that, notice that I'm on the root directory. So if I just do that one, that would go for a long time. And if I just say, even if I just say measure, like last time we did the object, that's like so much new objects, permission denied, because that's like a little bit security on the root partition, but I can run the same command on the C:/user/Wahid. And then that would just allow me, because I do have permission to see the content of it. But if I log in as administrator, then I can run that command at this root prompt. Even at the root prompt, there are certain directories that are protected. Some of them are not. So notice that 302,140 of them, and that's a lot, right? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6-digit number. So it's really huge, and then that many files are there. What I could do is say, okay, if I just go only for that directory, imagine how much it would be on my root directory. So for this one, if I just do on programs, see how many I have there. That might be a little bit, yeah, programs there. And then I'm going to just look for PowerShell. See if I, okay, on PowerShell, I only have 7. That's good. I'm going to just say, run the ls command, and at the same time, do a for each, and then print it. Notice that this one is going to just list those statements for you. And then this is good, because you could just do this, and then if you just feel like, okay, I want to do exclamation, piping, and then you say for each, then I say $_ go ahead, print each one of them, and then say, do that one. Notice that this was one statement, start here and end here, but it is piping here. So, and instead of, if I just want to get $_mode, and then the file name, I could do that one. And whether they're file, directory, or archive files. And that, so like here, I could say $_mode. That would show me the mode. And then if I want to get the second one, remember this one was giving you this. If I want to see, like, for example, $.length, and then $, comma, $name, .name. So those two, if I want to get those values, for each one of them, it says this file has this size. You can get that one. But then also the for each statement is very helpful in terms of writing a statement. For example, you say, let's do something like useful. So I could say $sports. Let's call it the sports as an array of elements. Each element is soccer, football, basketball, running, and let's just add another one, say basketball. Okay, so I'm assuming that these 5 of them you either play or you love, and or you just want to see those ones, right? So $sports is there. Obviously, there's good other sports, running, swimming, basketball, baseball, golf, whatever you like. This up to you. But I list these 5 of them, and I'm going to just go through a for loop to print these ones. So how do I do that one? If I use a for each statement, I could say for each $. I don't have to put here sport, and I don't have to put in parentheses in sports. So the sport is a variable that's pointing to a collection of sports here. And then I say here, write dash host dash F for foreground. I'm gonna say write it in green. So I could say green here. And then what is the variable? I'm going to say is sport, not the sports. So I'm gonna close that, and it's supposed to do that one, but notice it says the for each statement, you cannot do it without the left parentheses and right parentheses. So this is required. And that's why I was earlier saying that you don't have to do it, but that is depending on what syntax and what language, programming language you do. Certain ones, they are very restricted on those ones. So right here was an example that says you missed the parentheses, and then by putting the parentheses, it prints it there. And now if I say here, and then you could do this, and they say, well, these are all great sports. At some point, you could make some decision on it. So I could say here and say F. Before this one, actually, I could say right here, F $, and then you could use the parentheses $ sport equal, and let's say soccer, then write this one in that color of this. And so I'm gonna say write this, and then also say write dash host, and then dash F green again, and say I love playing $sport, right? So you could do that one, and then say else, then write say write dash host, and then dash F, and we could write it in yellow, for example, this color, yellow. Wow, or what a lovely sport, right? What a lovely sport. So you could say everyone loves their own sport, right? What a lovely sport, a $, sport. And then you could write that one there. And then here you close it. And then after that one, you close the main loop of for each, and then run it. So what happened here? I must have had some other typo somewhere. So let's say the first one here does not have a typo. The second one here, right there, I missed the closing green, right? So now it should work there. Yeah. So basically, you can see here on this for each statement, we say for each sport, which is a variable that is pointing to the collection of variables, sports, an array of list of strings, soccer, football, basketball, running, basketball, baseball, or basketball. Basketball, I have put it twice, so you could modify it and then just do whatever you want. But let's just modify the sports. So we could also go through index of elements of sports and modify it, or you could just write here, and instead of basketball, you could write baseball. And then when you go through this loop, it will just do that one. So it is perfectly working. And the reason it works is because we say $export, $export, this still has that list, right? So when you say write dash host and then $export, you can see that it is writing on the last one. But because $exports is this other list. If you want to print them as a collection and then green color, obviously you have to write them in a one line at a time with the for each statement. But this is just what is the element of each of the index. So this is another nice thing about the sports here is these elements. So if you say $sports sub-0, that would be printing soccer. And then sports sub-1 would be printing football. And sports 2 would be running basketball. And then 3 would be running, and then 4 would be baseball. But 5 is not pointing to anything. So you could say a for statement, you could say for a for statement, you say I is equal $, I is equal 0, $, I is less than, the less than symbol on PowerShell is -LT, like bash scripting. C and C++ is you're writing like less than, like that. So different programming language, different syntax. $I less than $sports.length. The sports.length will be just saying that it's length of it is 5 in this case, 0, 1, 2, all the way 4. That would include the 0 also. And then a semicolon, and then say $I plus, and then just close this one. Then use the brace here, say write -host $sports, which is the actual variable, and the index of it would be $I. And then if you want it in green, you just write it so. So that's how you go traverse through the loop for the for statement there. And notice that the sports dot length gives you the length of the element. If we had 2 elements, then obviously would be. So if I just want to get the last element, I could say $sports sub -1. Whatever is the last one is baseball, and then notice here say $sports. Here, if I want to get the last element, I would do this one, baseball, and then if I want to get running, it's -2, and -3 would be the one before that on basketball, and then -4 would be football, and -5 would be soccer. But there's no -6, so -6 is not returning anything, right? Because there's no such element there. And some programming language index out of range would error out, so you don't want to do that one, like Python and other ones. But that is a good thing that it is backtracing error shows up, so you are not in a loop. There's every programming language you should check for semantic as well as syntax of the program. If syntactically correct and some logic expression is having an issue, you will not be able to catch it, and only it shows up at runtime. And that's a very hard thing to detect. But if a programming language is not lean to allow you to do these kind of mistakes, it's a good thing to check for that one. There's a lot of Boolean operators and that checks on too. So on this example that I showed you here, I showed you a for each object and a for each. And so whether you type in for each commanded or you use for each or percentage, they all work the same thing. And I also showed you the for statement there. I'm going to show you also while loop on PowerShell. So here you can see alias for each. Then it's showing for each is the shortcut. Alias percentage is also pointing to for each object. There's also other aliases, like if you do alias a question mark, you can see the where object is there. And alias where is also pointing to the where dash object. But the one that you want to do is alias percentage, which is a for each statement. So if I say go to the temp directory and do a dir here, notice that dir is there, get child item is there. So all of these ones, if I say get child item and $sign dot text, show me all the dot text one. And then if I say do a word count on it, measure -L for line number, there's 16 of them. So if I say, okay, that there is 16 of them, can I just say, do a for each statement here for each, and then just list them. That is going to list them. If I say dot name, just show only the name of it, it will show only the name. And then if I say, okay, great, and instead of for each statement, do a for each dash object, it will do the same thing. And instead of that, I could just do a shortcut and just say percentage, that would be a for each. Because alias percentage was pointing to the for each statement. So when you do this one, it is going to write the there. And then here I could say out dash rainbow, and then see that those ones on colors. So every time you do it in a different color set, you could do it. Or if you like it in a different color set, here instead of out dash rainbow, you could just say right here, right dash host and dash F, and then write it in green color. It will write it for you in green color. And if you just say, this is great, can I do a ls star dot text, and then say, go to the next line and say percentage for each, not for each, and then start this one, right dash host dash F green, and then $sign underscore dot name, and then just write that, and then say that is the statement that you want to print it, it will do that one. But if you say, this is good, I don't want to close it here, I want to say sleep 1 second, run the get dash date command, and then after that one say cat, which is equivalent to a get dash content or type cat, and then I want to just write the file name, $sign underscore dot name. Since it's a file, I could just say show me the content of it, cat on it. If it's a lot of lines, obviously I have to do it differently. And then right here, I could just say, okay, look at that. Some of the files or contents are like directory structures. And so, but if it is a text file, you could just get them there. And obviously, the command, when I do this one, if I say, I like it, but let's just pause like 2 seconds there, and then run the date, and then when you cat it, I want to just say, oops, sorry. I want to just do one other thing here. So you could do a sleep 2 second, cat this one, and then do a laugh out loud cat, there, and then after that one, you could just see after 2 seconds, different colors, different things. So it's really nice. You're enjoying your day to look at these things and play around with the computer, have some games and fun with the text and then color, and then you could do a lot more here. So as an example, if I just want to do write something kind of like using PowerShell to open something, right? I could just go here. Let me just go on the Visual Studio Code here, and then I'm going to just write something quickly here, and or maybe just I have this script already that is there. Let me just say protocol. I think I could write this one very fast on a different shell right here. So what I could do is just say right click here, say new text file, okay? And then in the new text file, you could just click in here, and then right here is plain text. You could just click on it and just change it to PowerShell or whatever method, programming language, Python, whatever you want. You could just do a Java, and all of those options are here. You could save it Go language and everything, right? So if I say PowerShell, and then I say, go ahead, change this one to a PowerShell, I could do that one. Or I could just save it. Notice the icon changed because I have installed the extension for PowerShell or Python or C++. Visual Studio Code is going to help you big time here. So right here, now I could write a PowerShell syntax. Let's assume that I'm going to open some URLs here. So what I do is say URLs $URL, right? So this is a list of variables that I'm going to say. I'm going to type in, let's say, www.jpl.nasa.gov. And that's one of them. And then the next one is going to be comma www.python.org. And the next one, let's say, go to MyWebUniversity.com. So if I just want to open those ones, and let's just open also Google.com, www.google.com. So those 4 of them, if I want to just open all those 4, how do I go through the loop and just open each one of them, right? So I'm going to say that's $ URL is there. I'm going to say for each $ URL and $URL, then I want to just say, go ahead, open it. And then I'm going to use the brace here, and then I say, and instead of just opening or writing the host, I could just say write dash host dash F, and then say green, and then say $URL, and then close it. So let's see if this one is going to just do the trick that I want to do. But notice the way the syntax I did it is not a PowerShell syntax. So I'm going to run this one to see how it is going to react. And I'm going to save this one first. Say go under file here and say file save as. I'm not sure what directory I am, but I'm going to save it. I think I am on the directory save as. Let's see where I am going to. Yeah, it's on the demo programs PowerShell. So I'm going to call it like ForEach demo.ps1. Okay, so I named it there. I'm going to also go to users, Wahid, programs, PowerShell, PowerShell, and then directory here. So the directory, and then I could say sort last access. The last file that is accessed here, if I just go here on the bottom, that's the file that I called it. Let me see, for each, under the PS directory, not pouch. Under the demo, so sorry, demo programs, and then PS, and then now I say that show me the last one in sort item, and this is the one that we have here. So if I say type for each dash demo, then you can see the content of this one matching the one there. Let's run it without correcting the mistake here. See if it, now you can see the right host is not recognized. Whatever is the reason, it is not recognized for right host because I missed the E with the right? So I'm gonna correct that one, just say search for right here, and that's the one, and then I just add this one. Now notice the IntelliSense automatically detected, so I'm gonna say write it, and then let's run it again. And this time it just did it, so this syntax was also okay. Normally on the Python, you could also use this syntax. So if I comment this one, and then I put this one between left parentheses and right parentheses all the way to the end, saying this is a collection, and the collection has those elements. There are 4 of them. So the last one, I'm going to close it here. This is an array of collection. This also works. So if I just say, go ahead, run it, it's going to do the same thing. But notice that my last run, I'm going to clear the screen here, say clear dash host, and then do escape shift W. And then I'm going to move this one up here because I don't have that many lines. Notice that here, this going to do exactly the statement that you want to see, right? So this is good. And then also with this syntax, I could have done it with the other syntax. So Python is PowerShell is very lean. And then also you could do this syntax if you just do this and then use the @ symbol, meaning that it's an array, @ symbol array. So @ is optional. If you don't do it, or the bracket, you don't do it, this is also understood. That's very powerful programming language, right? And scripting language. So I'm going to say right host, and then here I'm gonna just say right host, and then it says opening the URL. So let's say I'm gonna just say opening the right here. I'm going to say the single quote saying that the URL is there, and then which is URL colon $sign URL. So that actual $sign URL will be saying that this is variable for it, and then opening it. But at this time, I'm not running anything to run it. Let's see if it does say that. So opening, I mistyped opening. So let me just correct that one. Sometimes the keyboard, some characters get stuck there. Opening. Okay, so opening now is corrected. And then now this one, instead of green, I'm going to just write it in white. That way it makes sense to read 2 different colors for it. Notice that this is the URL, and then it says opening the URL www.gpl.nasa.gov. Then the URL is Python, opening the URL www.python.org. But notice all of these ones are just syntax that is there. So if I want to do a start instead of write host, I could say the whole the way here and just say start dash process. So I'm going to make the S also uppercase. I could also do it for short, the start. That would be there. And then if I just do this one without any protocol, because they redirect automatically, it should be good. But in order for your program to always work, make sure that you do it with, this is not needed. You do it with the right protocol. So now notice that it's opening all of those ones one by one. So the first one was jpl.nasa.gov. This is the page that it showed up, HTTPS here. And then the second one was python.org. This is the page. And the third one was MyWebUniversity. This is the page. And the fourth one, google.com. This time I'm going to close these ones. And right here, because they're all going to HTTPS, I could just run the same code here and say, for this one, just use the protocol also in front of it, https:// and that should still work. Let's see if we run it, say what it's going to do. And then, and right there you can see it opens Jet Propulsion Laboratory NASA.gov. And this is the page, very nice page. This is the actual Pasadena Jet Propulsion where we work on, and it's a very prestige company, as you all know, does a lot of space stuff and technology and science. And so welcome to MyWebUniversity is this page, and then python.org is this page, and then Google is this page. The websites are all secure. You can see the private key, public key, and secure site connection is secure. Then you can validate the certificate, start.google.com, meaning that it's wildcard certificate. Similarly, this one, MyWebUniversity is page is secure, connection is secure, valid certificate, mywebuniversity.com certificate. Similarly, Google is a secure page. You can see here. Connection is secure, valid, and you can see all of that. Similarly, Jet Propulsion Laboratory, NASA, secure. You can see certificate is valid, and www.gpl. Common name is the certificate name. So I'm going to close these ones because we were on this video number 5. And on video number 5, I mentioned that I'm going to cover for each object, for each percentage, for loop. And we have not covered too much of for loop yet. I will cover, and then while loop I'm going to also cover. So with the examples here, we could show you as a for loop statement. So I could say get dash help. Let me go to the prompt here and say get dash help, and then about, and then underscore for, and then you could say 5 more, and then you could see one screen at a time. So these are examples of a for statement. The nice thing about this statement, it says for says initialization statement, then the condition, then how much you want to repeat. So the condition, if you're incrementing it, you're repeating with incremental value of increasing it. If you're going to the condition to say downward, decrease it, then you have to repeat with the decrease number. And then the statement, this could be any list of statements here. And then some of the examples here, for example, here for I is equal 0, j is equal 0. So some of the examples are showing multiple variables doing it. And you could just do a lot of these ones here. And then let me just show you. Sometimes with the looping, like if you do these kind of condition without any condition matching, this would be an infinite loop. Similarly, this one would be an infinite loop. You don't want to just do it. You have to, at some point, say this condition has to break the loop. So like $i less than 10. So you start with I is equal 1, and then I increment it to up to 10, and then at some point when it is equal to 10, less or equal to 10, it's okay, but if it's equal to 10, then it's going to break the statement and it stops execution. So otherwise, if you do it like this, no condition matching, it would be infinite loop. And you can have break a statement or any other ways you want to do it, but these are methods of doing for statement. So you can see here, there's also a get child item for work item. You could see the file names and Python descending properties. There's a lot of good examples here, a lot of Boolean operators that you could do. So I'm going to show you one of the for statement here. Let's just copy one of them just for the sake of multiple example here. So I'm gonna give you this one, okay? So if I just open this terminal here and then say, go ahead on this current directory and paste this line, notice the one that we added, if you just run it, this is going to say for $i is equal 0, $j is equal 0, $i less than 10, I plus plus. So in this case, we're not incrementing j, but we're only printing I plus plus with I incremental. So notice the value of I is equal 0, j is always 0. J is always 0, but I is, becomes up to 9. So if I just up arrow here and say, okay, this is good, let's just make this statement a little bit different. What I mean by a little bit different, I'm going to also increment j. So I could say $j plus plus as well. So this is j is also going to 10 up to 9, and then it will just write I is equal 0, j is 0, then I is 1, j is 1, because we are incrementing both of them. Notice that. So if I just say, can I do a j minus minus, is that dependent on the I less than 10? You could do that one. Let me just do it, and you will see that result, and I'll explain why that works or why it doesn't work. Depending on what you write on that thing, command. So in this case, it works because what I'm saying is increment I. So I is less than 10, it will keep incrementing until I becomes 9. So if I just change that one to I less than 5, let's say, so we can get a smaller number there, and then this would still work between I 1 to I is equal 4. Once it reaches to 5, it stops. But notice that j is independent of decrementing it. So I could say j plus plus, and it will work the same thing as I is equal 0. And but if you try this one, say j is a different value, say j plus equal to 2, you cannot do that one, I believe, because it's going to just give you error, say that does not make sense. So semantic has to make sense here. So what I'm going to do here, notice if I just say here j plus plus, this one was working. So I'm going to say, go ahead, change this one for I is equal less than this. And I want to just do dash and $j is equal or less than 10. So this one I'm going to increment the j. Okay, so because I is less than 5, even though I say j is 10, the and statement is a Boolean operator, say both condition has to be true. So the I becomes true, but the J is not becoming true. So this one stops at 5. Okay. If I just change the same statement, let me just run this statement one more time. And if I just change the same statement here to say either I is less than 5 or J is equal. Now this Boolean operator or statement, this is going to work for both of them. And notice that J gets incremented as well. The other one, because and was a shortcut, as soon as the I was less than 10, it was already stopped. I hope that is clear to you. And then the for statement, you could do it with Node.js and with C, C++, and other languages. So if I just do, for example, node here, I could say node here and then say for statement here, say I is equal 0. Notice I'm not using $sign because the variable I means the same thing as in this one. And I less than 10, also the less than sign is not -LT. So you have to know the syntax of these programming languages. And then here is there, and then instead of write host, I'm gonna say console.log, and then say the value of I is, and then comma I, and then say that. And then you can see here the value of I is, and then print that I value. So you could do that one. And if you just say, go ahead, do the for statement again, let's say I go the for statement right here and say the console.log, and instead of this one, actually, let me just do this, Control C, exit, and then I could say a node, and then I'm going to do this for statement differently. So I say for, and then say I is equal 0, I less than 10, and then semicolon, I plus equal to. So increment by 2, and then say brace here, and then console.write, and then done. Close it, and then that would do that. So the increment by how much you do it, and then if you again you do the semicolon, it would be indefinite loop. You don't want to do that one. And then the number that you start with is your choice. So if you do the same thing in Python, clear screen .exit here, and then clear screen, say Python dash version. Note that version was telling me that I have version 22, and Python dash version telling me that I have Python 3.12. So if I just say Python, get into the Python 3.12, here I use a for statement, and I could say for, I could say the item, or I could say I, doesn't matter, and range is a function that it's gonna take argument. So if I could say the 10, I could say print, and then say the value of I is, and then comma I, that would just print those ones there. But at the same time, if I just want to do something different output, and then the for loop here, you could say, for example, start with 10, go to 100, increment by 5 of them. You could do that one also, and say like that, and then you could see that those numbers are there. So if I just say import OS and os.system, clear my screen. So let me just see what I'm typing here. This one is blocking my view. Okay, clear is CLS, and that would work. And then what you could do is that's PowerShell command. If you just say PowerShell clear, that would also work. But if I just say by itself without PowerShell, this is not going to work because I'm inside the DOS prompt at the time that I'm doing. So the equivalent of that one is clear command. That's why I couldn't see it before. So here you could say for a statement, whatever you want to do for $ item. You could also create like commands to and just write an array of lists. So let's say I'm gonna say commands is equal, and then here I could say a list which has these elements. So one of the elements would be let's say let's just write those URL again and see if we could just store them in PowerShell with the command and run them using PowerShell commands in OS. So I'm going to just say www.google.com and www.jpl.nasa.gov. Only those two I'm going to open it for now, so you could see the idea what I'm trying to do here. I could say for a CMD and commands, and then say print. I'm gonna say f string, and then say the command is so let's say and the actual CMD is the command and that I want to print here, and close it here, and then I did not write the double quote here. Double quote here should was necessary, and that's how that one is there. At this time, if I just do the same thing and I say go ahead write the double quote here, double quote, and then the next line say go ahead open it. So how do I open it? I could say I'm inside Python, but because I import OS, I could say print os.system, and then here inside here I could say f string. Actually, I could say f string, and then I could say print os.system. Let me just do this. I'm gonna just only say start, and then f string start. Let's try this one. It wouldn't understand this one. So I could do start plus, and then $, I mean command prompt itself, CMD, and then close it this, and then that. So operation start and dot. Okay, so the equivalent of this one, I have to give a space here, and then do that one right there. Right here, space here, and then do that. And that's how you do those two. So notice the way I fixed it, it was just saying that I use those two as string to concatenate each other. So if I just have to do this one again, I could do this one in Python or command line right here, but it is best to just exit out of this one and then just close this one, and this one I already gave you example. I'll close this one and do it through code here. So notice here I did that one through PowerShell, and then I'm going to close these two, and I'm going to just say file open, and then just open a new folder, open folder. I'm going to go to programs, and then right here, I'm going to look for my Python program right there. So I open this folder and then Python, and then say select folder. So now Python is open here, right? So at this time, I could just close this. This is example, this example, but I could just say, okay, just open a new file. Here you could just click on it, say right here, class new file, and then this is a new file. I could just say Python program or any other ones. So you can see here a list of them are there that you want to choose Python, and then a new file. New file. Why is it done? Okay, new file. I'm gonna just say an example of this one, URL urls.py. Just name it urls.py. So right here, if I just double click on this one, let me close this one. Something is not opening it properly. I'm gonna go to, I think I was on the demo directory. So cd to demo programs, Python directory, show me the last sort dash last write item. Last access time. So you can see here urls.py is the name. Directory urls.py is the one. Directory start.py. I just don't see the name. Yeah, urls.py and there. Okay, so urls.py is there. Let's see what we could do. Type urls.py is empty, which is nothing, 0 byte. Directory URL start urls.py. I'm going to just say, go ahead, open this one and code urls.py. So this is default the welcome page, and then that one urls.py is this one. I'm going to start coding. My interfaces are not okay. I close that one. Just 1 second under files. I'm gonna just name it here. Override that file. It just somehow it is not opening on this editorial. Whatever that issue is, open an editorial. Yeah, with that one. Okay, I'm gonna save this one as url.py. So you could just right click here, save file, save as. Save as nothing is there on the element. So I'm gonna write a Python program on this one to do URL. So here I could say commands is equal, and then I'm gonna put the list of the commands on the list. I'm gonna make an array of list and say, for example, www.jfl.nasa.gov, and another one www.google.com, and another one www.MyWebUniversity.com. So if I just will open these 3 URL, you could say for statement with the for and then say cmd and commands, and then here I could say print the URL is, and then right here I could say comma URL, and then print it. So if I just want to do this one and then run it, okay, and the URL, okay, somehow URL, that variable is this variable, so we could do that one, and see if we could save it, and then URL.py. I'm gonna just say URLs.py. So the name is URLs.py here, and now we're going to say, oh, this one, that is just CMD, not URLs, because here is the variable, and then that is going to find a variable. So escape WQ, write it, W, and then run it. Now I should not get an error. Let's see if it does work on there. I want to see. Somehow, yeah, it is showing here. This is the output here. And so here I'm going to do import. So before this line, I'm gonna go on the top line here and say import OS, and then say os.system, and then I'm gonna clear the screen here. Clear screen. Let's see if clear screen works if within PowerShell, Python, and if it does, it didn't run that command because it did not clear the screen. See, clear does not work. So you could do a PowerShell in front of it, it would work. And if I just run it now, it is going to clear my screen, and then it runs. The same way that it runs from command line. Actually, let me see, W. So run it. Yeah, it does that one. But this is just because of the line was already there. So I'm going to make it just a CLS command. It's much easier to type and short there because it works on the OS level. I don't have to do that. But because here, this one is inside the terminal here, I could do a clear host here on this command prompt here. Let me just say, so like on the bottom here, I could type in once I get the prompt. Actually, this is not my terminal, this is output. So the terminal is here. The terminal was always working, most likely. So if I just run this one, I was just on the output screen, sorry about that. So right here, if I just run this command, it should run the command and clear the screen and give me the output here. That's what it does, Python. Every time you run it, this is the output screen. So the terminal screen is different. The terminal screen is right here, and that one is doing that. So if I just say the name of it is type urls.py, is this a script? I could also say urls.py, run it from the terminal, and then that would just clear the screen and run the commands. So if I just want to do this one, you could see this one is working as expected with the terminals there. So I'm going to say the URL is this. Now I'm going to say open it. So I'm going to say OS dot system, and then say start, and then plus and the command. So this is the command, and then the URL is this. And instead of that one, I'm going to say opening the URL. So then whatever is the URL, we're gonna do that one. I'm gonna put this one F here, and then opening the double quote here, say, I mean the quotation, and like that would makes more sense, say, inside there, opening that and then closing it. So let's see. Okay, there's a typo here. Command is this, print OS dot system. Yeah, when you close this one, you have to actually close this parentheses. Now there's no typo. We run it, and it does work. You can see here, right? All four of them are open. So I'm going to just run this program from the Python directory also. Like here we did that one. I'm gonna just go here and do that directory to say if we didn't have code and we wrote that a standalone program, could we just run it? Let's test it here. So I'm gonna go to CD to demo programs, and then Python, and then directory URLs .py, type URLs.py, that's the code, URLs.py. Why does it say get content, unable to get content? Dictionary, please use get child item. I'm not sure why, but then let's see. URL, that's a direct file. It shows it's a directory rather than, oh, that's why I couldn't open it. URLs.py, even though the directory is there, URLs is inside. See that this one is a directory. So I was thinking of why couldn't I open it? So that makes sense. Now we have this one, and we could say type URLs.py. Inside that one, I named it inaccurately for the directory, it doesn't matter. But the content of the file, this one is the file. That's why it says A for attribute of archive. So this is a directory, the name. So you should not have the name like that. So what I'm gonna correct it is say, okay, I could say move URLs.py as URLs like that. If I'm not in that directory, because it might be open. So what I could do is rather than do that one, go to URLs.py. This is how you fix that one. And then move URLs.py to the parent directory, but name it myURLs.py. So now, and this directory doesn't have it. This build.json, I don't need it. Delete this, all of them, and then clean this. Now this directory is empty. I'm gonna say move URLs actually rm dir URLs.py. This one is a directory. Let's see, directory URL. Yeah, it's a directory. Remove dash item dash recurse, and then URLs.py. The process cannot access this one because it's being used by another process. So the process somehow it is being used, and it might be just because, yeah, it's right here. So these are the ones. So I'm going to close Visual Studio Code. Now we do this one, it's no longer there, it removes it. When a process is opening it, that process is available in session. So it has a lock on it, you cannot delete it. Now that one is not there, but there's a my URL stuff pipe. So I'm gonna say my URL, this one, and then that one, I could rename it back, say move my URL stuff pipe as URL stuff pipe, and that's done. It's now type URL stuff pipe, it will show the content. So if I just wanted that, write that one with laugh out loud cat and the colorful stuff, you could do that one, right? So at this time, I just say, okay, go ahead, run that script from the command line. I could also say Python /URLs .py. It will just open that session with it. Welcome to MyWebUniversity was one of them. Google was the second one, and then Jet Proportional Laboratory NASA was the third one. So if you look at this one, is JPL, Google, and MyWebUniversity. All of those ones are there. And there's many other ways you could do that one with other programming languages. You could, if you don't want to see these 0 files, this is how you correct that one. Say code URLs.py, you open the code and then you say, okay, this is good, but then I want to just, instead of writing the OS system, I'm going to use a different function and say, here, say stream is equal, and then os.pipe open or process open. And then here I'm going to open the command, and then here say output is equal, and then stream dot read function, and then right here I say start output, with basically starting that, and then save this one. When you do output, so now I save it, and then we run it, it's going to work the same way with all those ones. But notice that the clear screen on this one is going to clear the screen, run the commands on each one of them. I want to test this one with from the command line again. Now, this time I run it, it is going to open. Why does it open these number of command sessions? Is something wrong there. I'm going to check on that one. So actually, we have the Visual Studio Code here. Sorry about that. And let me just say, okay, we are going to do the clear screen. We don't need to clear screen every time here. For command is equal this, I was opening the URL, stream p open, and then print OS to start, and that's plus output. Okay, not start this one, because we already did the system with the pipe open, so you have to delete that one. Say, go ahead and do the start command with this. Yeah, now it makes sense. Let's do this one. And if I run this one, opening program start, and it does not have the equivalent here. Let's see if I go from the command line, clear screen programs, sorry, demo programs, Python, and then clear screen type URLs.py, and then Python this. Okay, opening. So it does not understand it because of opening this, and then it finds this one that recognizes operation. Somehow the start process is not recognized, not seeing it. Why? Let me see the code here. What did I have here? So we say process open os dot be open command. So the command is there. Oh, the command has to be a combination of those two. So right here, I could say start actually CMD is equal, and then say start plus CMD. So that could add those two, and then right here, you don't need that one. You just say print output. Okay, let's try that. Okay, there's a space here. We have to do this a space, and that's why. So now it's okay. I think now it should work. Yeah. So basically, when you're doing it, I'm going to show you also from command line here. And let's say on the command line here, if I run the same program here, type urls.py, notice that here, and then the command import OS, and then this is the list of URLs that I want to open. Then I say, okay, opening this URL, and then $ command, then it says the start space and then the URL. So then it's gonna do it to the pipe open, which opens a socket, and then it streams it, and then read the stream, and then print the output. So if I just say Python urls.py, it will just do the work. And this is MyWebUniversity, this is Google, and this is Jet Proportional Laboratory, NASA. And those are the three equivalent that is right here, there. So this was the code here, and this is the output here. Just as a summary. So I demo a lot of stuff with Node and Python and PowerShell on Windows side. Let's jump into Linux side and then do some equivalent of this for statement on Linux side, and then we should be done. Actually, the while loop I haven't done, so let's just do the while loop here. Clear screen here, say $sign I is equal, let's say 5. And when I say while, and then you say $sign I less than 25, for example, do something here. So what we want to do is say right dash host $sign I and dash F foreground green. And then here, if I just don't increment the while statement, this would be an infinite loop. So then I say, let's increment I, $sign I plus equal to 5 by 5 increments. So 5, 20, 10, 15, 20, and then when it becomes 25, it exits out. So let's see why this statement did not work. For while I is less than 25, do right host $sign I and I plus 5. So right here, $sign I is this time is already 25. So let's make $sign I is equal 5 and then run the statement. and it says write host. I mistyped it. I think it is my keyboard because I'm typing E there, and that's why $I now is 5. And this time it should work, and you can see it does the. There was a typo on the right statement. That's why you get those red lines. Sorry about that. So here, if I just say, go ahead, run it again, $I is already 25. It doesn't go to the while loop statement here. But if I change that one to, say, do it up to 250, then obviously from 25, it goes all the way to 245. But if I say, okay, $I is now 5, $I is this 250, I want to say, go ahead downwards and say greater than 250, greater than 0 actually. I want to just say go all the way there and then decrement it by 25 here. So instead of increment, we're going to decrement it. So the I was 250. The next one is 225. The next one is 200, and so on, all the way to 25. And now you can see that one, 250, 225, and so on. So the while statement has a condition saying that you either increment or decrement as long as the while loop is not the condition is not true, just to continue through the loop. Once the condition becomes true, there's there. The until or do is the opposite. So do something until the condition becomes true. And so the while statement says, while this condition is not true, keep doing it till it becomes true. So that's a while statement. And the next thing is showing you example in Linux. So Linux is really cool, similar to a PowerShell Windows. And you have Bash and ZSH and even PowerShell you can do in Linux. It's integrated. So I'm going to log in on Linux platform. And if I type my password correctly, which I do this time, it should get me into the prompt. And now this one is basically my Linux machine here. Notice if I click on the terminal, I get this nice terminal with white foreground, extern, and then text of kind of darkish green. And the way you change it under your preferences, you can go under colors. And like this one is background is white. If I want to select that one is white is good. This one is my text. So how dark I want it, I could select that one. And now my text is darker than that. So if I type in the command here, you can see it is showing the cat -n etc os-release. It is showing the version. Okay. So what am I going to do here on the Red Hat Rocky Linux version 9.2 distribution of Fedora distribution? So on this one, I want to do a for statement, for example. A for statement on this one, you could say, first you could say echo $shell that I'm on bash script, and PS also to show me that I'm bash. And then echo $0 also to show me that bash. Get end password Wahid also show me that my shell has been bash, right? So I showed you a number of ways that it is a bash. So what do I do with bash? I could write syntax of bash to say for I in $, in sequence of 1 to 10, do say echo and say $I, and then say hello world. Let's say and there And then I don't have to do new line characters because I didn't do echo minus E. So now it writes the hello word like that and there. If I use a shebang symbol here, which is exclamation mark bang, not shebang, there it's going to still work. On the older version, this bang, sometimes you have to skip it, which is a backslash. But otherwise it comes as an event error or something. So here I did this one. I could say, well, this is, can I write it in one line here? Yes, I could. I could say clear screen here, say for, let's just change my prompt first. $, PS1 is there. I'm going to say export PS1 is equal. And I'm only going to give a $sign symbol and followed by a space. Now, prompt shell 1 is this, and echo of it, it just says that $sign here. So it is a small one. I could say for I in sequence of 1 to 10, and then I say do, and say echo and $sign I, and say welcome to my web university, right? So I could write that and then say, go ahead, write this one 10 times, and then say that, see that event comes in. Somehow it did not understand it. So I'm gonna do the same thing for I, and to do echo echo and $sign I colon welcome to my WebUniversity.com or YouTube channel or whatever. So you could here say bang exclamation or escape bang, that would work, and then say done. And notice that the exclamation mark is showing there. So I'm going to take it out, and then it this time it did not have the event there. But if I just move this one next to it, I believe it was, so for some reason, sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it doesn't, so that is okay. Maybe it was somewhere in the memory something. Okay, so welcome to my web university. It will write this one, and if I just want to do it in a colorful text, I could say laugh out loud cat, and that would just write it in color. But notice the background is this, so I could just make this background text is different. So like here, I could say make this one white or some color, and then this one, the background, I'm going to make it a darkish red, for example. Let's just make it pound 00, actually 2500. That is or 35 darkish red. The lower the number for red is the darker red, like that. So now my text is like that. And then if I just run the same statement here with different colors, you could do it in there. If I wanted like black color, I could do that one. And let's just change the color to this color to darkish green. I'm gonna say make it 00 and then 3500. Red and green. Green is 35, and then the text, I'm going to make it completely white rather than this. I'm gonna say FFF. This 3 or 6F is the same thing as white color. So I'm gonna make that one white, and then now it is clean white color. if I just run it, it will just write to those ones equivalent there. But notice the color is still did not change for the green. Let me just see why. Oh, this one I did not change it. So this one I had to do 0035 00, and then select this one. Now it is selected. Now this should be there, and then this is good, but the white text is still not as white. So this is a trick that you have to make sure that this is white. Yeah, it is white. Just kind of too picky. Come on, dude, make this one darker, and that would look better, which I did. And now, and this is more kind of like the way I want to see that text there. And if you change it to some other colors, obviously you could do that one. But what else with the for statement? You could also do like a sequence command, sequence of 10 here. You could say, and instead of that for statement, you could just say for a sequence of 10. And then sequence of 10 here, I could put a backtick sequence 10. That would also work like that, and it goes there. And then if you just say for sequence of, there's also sequence with this syntax of 1 to 10. That one is going to do that one, but it's not within the bracket. It is a space here. So it's not like a range of like in Python that we do. I believe like that, it's going to do the same thing. So notice that this one jumped into 10, but if I just say 2 up to 10, I believe, yeah, it's going to say 1, 2, 10, those ones. And then if you want to say 1, 10, and then increment it by 2, you could do that too. Actually, no, that's 110. Let me put comma here and comma here. See if it understands it. No. So man sequence, you have to look at the function. It just says sequence first, last, first increment and last. There's spaces, first increment and last. So this is how you do first, increment, and last. That would do those numbers. They're not a space here. Okay, for sequence first, increment, and last. Yeah, that's how you work. First increment and last. So if I want to do it by 100 of them and increment by 20, and then start from the first of one, it will just do that one. And 10, and not 100, 10, 100. I meant 100 and I wrote 10. That's why those are there. Increment by 10. So now, and this time I'm going to start from 10, increment by 20, go all the way to 200. You can see here this moving to that one. The number, the range that you do is all your choice. So if I just want it for longer numbers, I could do it for longer numbers. And until it reaches the 2000 and then it stops. That's what looping is all about, right? So you could do that one. And again, you could do the same looping on Python. You could do it in PowerShell, also on Linux as well. So like here, I could do it in Python, PowerShell, or Node.js. So if I go on Node here, this is there, and I could say for I is equal 0, I less than 25, and then say I plus equal 5, and then say start, and then console.log, and say the value of I is, and then comma I, and then close it. And then you could see that works there. But I could say, let's try exit out of this one, go to Python, and then use the for with the range. Sequence versus range is different. So here I could say for item in range of 10 to 100, increment by 5. That's how it was, 10, 15, and 20, and so on. You could say print item, and then you could see those numbers are there, the for statement for that one. And then again here, if you are running a Linux commands, for example, you could say import OS, and then os.system. I'm going to clear the screen here, and then here I could say commands is equal, and then let's run a list of collection, a list. I say my commands is let's say pwd calendar command, and date command, just a few of them, right? And then one more file, a command I'm gonna run, say cat -n etc or Red Hat -release, or this one is Rocky -release. You can say OS -release for short, it will just give you more detail, but if you want one line, you could say Rocky -release. So this one is that, and then now the list is there, so type of commands, and Python, it will say this is a list. If I just want to get the value of it, it says this is the list. And I could say for item and commands, then I could say get the item and say print $ command sub item. So why didn't work? Line 2. Let's say I could say commands sub 0. Yeah, because those are not in hash key. I have to say for items, and the equivalent of that one, I say commands dot length length of it in Python. So if I say dir commands, this list, you could see that it is count is 1, and that is going to count it. So I could say count, okay, commands and dot count, and I'm going to write it as a function. No, so command, no, count, and then command. It's not defining it there. Must be a linked function, which is by default is the linked function. Let's see, length of a command. No, len. I know, and see another ones. Yeah, len, length function. So I could say for item, which is 0 in this case, and commands, length of commands, which is that, and do what am I doing? Is print command sub I, but that I has to start for 0. That would have to be initialized there. So I is equal 0, and then you do for I and this and length of this one. Print command sub I, and then say I plus equal 1, and do that. No. Let me just do it a different way. I just could do it. For I in a range of command sub I, length of command, range of length of commands. But jumping from one programming language into the another one, it's not that easy to just keep without thinking. So print, now I have to worry about the syntax as well as what I'm typing here. Print this one, so I'm going to say commands sub I. Yeah. So this is how you get the range of it like that. But another easy way is to do it, say, for command and commands, and then say print command. Depending on your mind at what time was thinking of what language or what programming language, you may just do it differently. So here I could just say also here, let's use the OS module to do it. Import OS module, and then I say for commands and command do, and right here I could say my command is equal Firefox. In this case, I want to just not Firefox, actually the commands or pwd, cal, indeed, and cat. So okay, so I could just say run the command with stream here is equal os dot process open or pipe open, and then say run the command here, and then do the output is equal stream dot read function, and then print and say the command is I'm going to say comma cmd, and then that would be your command, and then say print f string, and then say the output of the command is, and then we could just write this one as a command here. The output of the command is okay, so we got that one, and then close it. And here we don't have to say the output of this command. The command is, and we could just say that. And the command is pwd, the output of the command is pwd. But notice that commands are not getting it, because we'll say the for statement here for command is equal, when you do that for command is equal this, and then os dot let me just do that one line again. The stream is this, and then the output is this, and then the command is the output of the command. This time I'm only gonna write the output, not the command is. So now you can see the command is pwd, the output is written there. The command is calendar, the output is there. You can see the output of the command is this. The output of the command is date command. The output of the command is calendar. And last one is the output of the command is this. So this is how it works, right? I'm gonna exit out of this one, quit out of this one here. And then I showed you a number of ways to do for statement and for each statement. So let's just go on the programs directory for programs. Programs. Okay, and then I'm gonna go to C++ directory. C++ directory, and then here I have some program that I've already demoed before. I'm going to do here. So let's say the for statement, how many I have. For demo.c++, I'm gonna remove the for demo executable. Now I only have a for demo.c++. So file for demo, that one is a C++ source code. Cat -n for demo.c++ is this 26-line code here. So if I just show you the entire program, clear screen and run this command, and you can see the 26 lines that are there. Line 1 through 7 is the header, which is kind of information that are commented between the syntax, and then IO stream is defined as including that one using namespace std, standard namespace for the scope resolution, so I don't have to put std in front of cout and end of line and other ones. But here I define a constant to max is 1000, and then the start is 100. So I want to do a start from 100 and then print out the number, whether it's even number or odd number between 100 to 1000, right? Incremented by 5 here. And that's a for statement similar to what we did in PowerShell with the for statement. You have initialization here, and then incremented by what, and less than the condition that is matching, and incremented in this case by 5. And then here in the module, if it's divisible by 2, that means it's an even number. If it is not divisible by 2, it is odd number. And this program, when we run it, I'm going to have to compile it, which G++ is the compiler for G++ code. So if I say -- version, that one tells me that I have version 11.3, and the code that I'm trying to execute is this one. File for demo, this one, it says the source C++. So G++ -o for a demo, and then the source code is for demo.c++. That's -o means output binary for demo executable. Now I just created this for a demo, and that is executable. You can see the permissions are already there, and then it got created today, November 15. And if you could see that one, that's the time, 12:29. So file for demo, it is going to be showing executable link format. That means that LDD for demo, all the shared object files that are listed there. If I just say for demo, you can see that it is showing the even number and the odd number between from 900 all the way to 995. So cat for a demo.c++, you can see here, and this one starts with 100, but somewhere here I calculated to say max, which is 1000 minus 100. So that's why it started with 900. And that's one. If I wanted to start it with the start, I would not say max minus 1. It would give a lot of numbers there. So let's just do that one, temporary, to test the higher numbers. So vim for demo.c++, the VI improve. And then this one, I'm going to just say, here for statement, I could say, okay, just for now, I'm gonna say escape YP, and then I'm gonna just say comment this line out up to the second line here. I could say the 2 slashes, or I could say multi-line slashes. Like that, I could do it, or the 2 slashes in Linux. I mean um, on C and C++, 2 slashes would be like 1 line comment. And then on Python and Shell is pound for 1 line. So here, instead of max, I could say from a start, which is 100, all the way there. But notice that the numbers are so much. I don't want to print so much. So here, for the start, instead of that, I'm going to say increment by 25. And that would be a little bit 100, 125, and so on. Let's increment by 50. So we know that it starts with 100, 150, 200, so on to 1000, right? So now if I just run the code here again for demo, because I did not compile it, it's going to run the previous one. So I have to say G++ minus O for demo, and for demo.c++. Now I recompile it. I'm going to run the code again. This one, it says start from 100, 150, 200, and so on. Okay. And if you want it in a nicer color here, you could just say laugh out loud cat, and then it will give you that. Every time you run it, it will just give you a different set of colors. And then if you want it with animation, you could do animation, and then it stops there. So the laugh out loud cut is a utility that you can install it as a snap package, and then sometimes you could have it as RPM also, or as other packages. So which laugh out loud cat would tell you that this is already a snap package. And snap is the file. So and then file and similar to which laugh out loud cat. And instead of me typing that many commands, cut and paste this one, I say file which laugh out loud cat, that would show me exactly that output. It's really cool. There's a lot of things on Linux you could do with certain commands and everything. So and then you could say laugh out loud cat, and then minus F. I'm going to try minus F or dash help. You will get all the arguments here. You can see that the file is the name, the default one argument, and you could just say if you want to do dash uppercase F for frequency, you could change the frequency of it for a color. So laugh out loud cat, if I just say for a demo.c++, that program will be just printed to the color I want to do it. And then every time you do it, you get a different set of colors. So clear screen here, and then laugh out loud cut, you could get that color. But if you want it all green here, you could say minus frequency 0.001, something like that, and then you could get that color that you want there. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. There's also a while demo. So while, as you can see here, I could do, I already have the output here, while demo there, and then do a while demo one dot demo one, say while demo one, that's another one. But if you see the content of it, cat minus n while demo the C++, and then laugh out loud cat minus frequency of 0.001. You can see that it's in a nice color. So this is a while statement. You can see that while this condition is not true, so first you initialize it on line 17 to be less than the max. So I is equals 0 and max is this number here, 20. So as long as it is less than max, then you could just go through the loop and then module 2, and it says display the numbers between 2 and 0 and 20, which is 18 is the last one, and then show me 19 is actually the odd number to show you if it is odd or up. So right here, the while demo itself, it was telling you that number. 20 is even and 19 is odd. So that is how the program was looking at it. And you can see here, when I say less or equal than 20, that means it's going to go up to 20 for the last item. And if I just say RM while demo program, and now run this program, as say this program doesn't exist. In order for me to actually test it, I have to compile it. So I say G++ minus O while demo, and then while demo.c++. Now I run the while demo again, and it's going to run. Similarly, I want to test it with C programming language. Clear screen, I'm on this directory, see if I have something on C, clear screen here. And then, yeah, so there's program for for statement, and there's program for while statement. So I'm gonna do a cat -n for underscore demo one dot. Let's do the demo2.c, see what's inside there. So this one is doing a few numbers, addition, subtraction, multiplication function at the same time. You can see here. And then if I just say, let's clear the screen here, and then run this command, demo2.c, and then I say laugh-out-loud-cat minus frequency of 0.001. Notice this one has these kind of functions for addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and then it's going to do a floating points values. So when I do this one, if I just compile this one, say GCC, this one is GCC dash version, okay? So the GNU C compiler. And then if I just do G, clear screen here, we know that this is there, and then the while statement was this, and instead of running that one, I'm gonna just say Control C out of it. I'm gonna say GCC minus O. I'm gonna just say for demo like this as output, and then say the source code is for underscore demo2.c. So you could create the for demo here. I just created it for demo. You can see the timestamp of November at this time, right? So now if I say for demo, you could see that it's running it with the same output with all those functions here. Similarly, if I just do for, let's see, cat -n for demo 1.c. Cat -n for demo for underscore demo 1.c. So this one is a little bit smaller in terms of the thing. I'm gonna try to compile this one as a GCC -O. I'm gonna do a -G also in debug mode, and I'm gonna say -O for demo, override the other one. I could just say FD for file demo short for demo, and then the name of the source code in this case is for underscore demo1.c. Now I created this file in debug mode called FD. C file FD. It's a executable. Notice that it is also set for debug mode. So which GDB has the debug mode and not there? No GDB. So I cannot run it. I have to install the DNF GDB. In other words, GNU debugger. Let's see. DNF provides a GDB. Sometimes it's the package is available. You could just install it. GNU developer. So let me just do DNF sudo DNF install GDB, and then I'm gonna type in the password. That's cool. So that's why I like Rocky Linux, not rather than the sources, everything that's available for you, rather than Red Hat, which makes it harder with subscription manager, which GDB. So now you can see GDB is their user ban GDB, and then it's available. And the file demo that is there, file demo is executable link DFD. You can see it is there. So I'm gonna say, go ahead, compile it, run it with GDB FD. And now I'm on a debugger here. I could say run, and then it will run the code. And then it says enable debugging in session, yes. Go ahead, and you can see that it ran it in T9. It was the last one. I could also do layout next and other ones. Layout next. And you can see the source code and everything there. There's a lot of stuff I had shown you already on those ones with other parameters. So I'm gonna exit out of here. We did enough for this session, including things that I didn't say I will cover, which was the GDB and other stuff. JavaScript is easy. You just write it similar to Node.js. We have codes in there that you could see it also. I wonder if I have a directory here under JavaScript. Let me just say demo here, programs, and then yeah, TypeScript is there, JavaScript is there. So I already have some JavaScript here, all of that java.js script or here, and then you could see platform release versions. So type my add.javascript, and this does the addition, subtraction, so on. So also you could go on my website and practice JavaScript here. So if you just go on the my chapter, not chapter, actually the direct path to Linux Ubuntu, here you could also come in and do practicing it. Sorry, I meant here, practice, learn, and simple arithmetic. These are all JavaScript. So if you want to do like power function, you just go here, increase the number, let's say 5 to the power of 2, and then you get the result is 25. And then if you just want to see the actual code of it, is yes, you could do that actual code, or you could inspect it, and you could just see the console. On the console, you could actually get the values of it to right here, the PowerShell, see math.power to 25. And there's a for statement and other ones you can even do at the browser side, and then output of it there. There's more examples on this one, like for example, you could do division, and then division, let's say decrement by the number by 0. Let's say increment this one to 3 or 5, and then increase this number by 2, and then you get the result 2.5. But if you just decrease this number to 0, A number divided by 0 is division by 0 is not allowed, so you get this equivalent, that one. Does denominator does not have to be 0. Once you increase the denominator, and then you get a result there. And if you just do different numbers, so you get different results. And the same thing with the console inspected here. You can get the console by clicking on console. All the equivalent function, you did this one, and here you're getting the output. You could also type in commands, which I showed you in other videos, but JavaScript is very simple. And then on the React stuff, instead I'm doing these things, also you could do looping and other ones within the Node.js and other stuff. So right here, if you go to the courses, you are welcome to start watching these videos that are from 0 to hero and makes you hero on Red Hat Linux. This one makes you hero on Rocky Linux. This one makes you on PowerShell, a complete, Bash scripting, a complete course on Bash scripting. This is Ubuntu Linux. That's about 8 hours video. This is R programming languages. Then this is Solaris 10 or Solaris 11.4. That's a virtual machine, and that is Solaris x86. Then this is Linux Fedora distribution. This is Visual Studio Code. A lot of college level courses, data structure. Data structure in any programming language, once you understand it in one, the concept is the same. Whether you want to use it in Python, Jupyter, PyCharm, or Visual Studio Code, I showed you all of that one with a string data structure, with set data structure, with list, tuples, list comprehensions, data dictionaries, classes, objects, and object-oriented programming, and so on. Polymorphism, encapsulation, abstraction, data hiding, inheritance, all of those concepts, I have covered it extensively. So you're welcome to watch those ones, enjoy it, and God bless you all. I'm going to stop it here, and you have a nice one. Take care. Please subscribe to our channel if you haven't done so already. But if you have done it, thanks for your subscription, and thanks for your time for watching it. Please share it with your loved ones, and by sharing, you care about them as well. Take care. Bye-bye.